Hello, this is Anthony Ingram Westover presenting my baby name generator in Python. First of all, just to show how it's working, just run the name generator function. It's going to ask a couple questions. Do you want male or female names? What's the smallest name you want? I'm going to say 3 letters, and the longest name I'm going to go with is 10 letters. And I do allow you to select the order. I'm going to go with the example of an order of 2. And finally, how many names do you want to generate? Let's go ahead and ask for 5 new names. So then after running through a little bit, we get the names Moni, Quintino, Cobbin, Joe, and Mar. So now the method that I went through to create this, so we have the initial instantiation method. This asks the questions that you saw here for the gender, making sure that it's either M or F, and repeating until it gets a valid response. Length, which must be an integer greater than 0. Same thing with maximum length. It must be an integer greater than the minimum length. The order has to be an integer greater than 0. And the number of names must be an integer greater than zeros. Once that's done, I build up my dictionary, which is just instantiating all the possible permutations. I'm using some built-in Python functions. I take all of the lowercase letters of the alphabet as well as the underscore and generate as many versions of that based on the order. So in this case, with an order of 2, we have 2 copies of every letter. So you could have AA, AB, AC, etc. And then I generate all of those possible permutations and then take every additional letter and say so that the permutation followed by the letter, so in this case the permutation might be AA and the next letter is A, has a count of 0. And then do the same thing with the underscore and then finally a total sum. Then I process in the names depending on if the user is selecting male or female names. I open up the corresponding text file. I read in each individual name. I prepend and append each name with underscores equal to the order. So for order of 2, it'll be underscore underscore name underscore underscore. And then I loop through each of those names. And then I check each permutation within my dictionary. And I look for that particular permutation. So for example, if it was AN, like my name Anthony was the initial permutation, I'd look through all the names and find every index that starts with AN. And then after that, I will jump up by the order. So in this case, if the index of AN is 0 for the start of the name, I would jump up by 2 to get the third letter. And then I increment that count in the total sum. Then when it's time to generate my names, I make sure that I'm looking for how many names I want to generate. I start out with the name being just underscores based on the size of the order, so that then I can start my permutation run, look for what's the most common letter to follow 2 zeros. I take the permutation and I look at the total sum, so that's saying, for example, there's 1,000 names, every single name starts with underscore underscore, so that total sum will be 1,000. For other permutations, I count up the total number of times that the particular permutation appeared within the names. I generate a random integer between 1 and that total number. And then I go through each letter within the model, ignoring the total sum, until I find the letter that matches. So for example, if let's say my random integer was 10, and I found 9 names that started with A out of 1,000, and 12 names that started with B, I would pull B because R is 10, the current sum when I reach A is 9, current sum when I reach B is 21, so therefore that's the first time that I go greater than my random integer, so I select that letter. I continue this until such time as the last letter within the name is an underscore, which indicates that the name has been completed. Once I've got a full name, underscore to underscore, I check the length to see if it's a valid length, and I check to make sure that it is a unique name that has not already been generated. If both of those conditions are met, I strip out the underscores, increment my count of how many names I've generated, and print it out for the user to see. Thank you.